everybody, so welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be testing out the C70 and its audio capabilities. So I got a dynamic microphone, which is the Shure SM7B, which is very power hungry, and I got it going into a Y cable so I can record the same thing in two different places. And basically I got one part of the Y cable going directly into the C70 and another part of the Y cable going directly into the Sound Devices MixPre-3 II. So I'm going to compare the audio to see how good the C70 audio is and to see if I need a dedicated recorder like the MixPre-3 II, or I can just count on the preamps in the C70 for that good crisp audio. So both of these are turned up to about 3 o'clock, about 75% of their gain, both on the C70 and the MixPre-3 II, because this is such a power-hungry microphone. And I do not have any sort of amplifier or booster in the chain. This is just microphone to camera or microphone to recorder. You know, I don't have a FET head or anything like that in the audio chain because I want to see how good this is. I also won't be processing the audio except for maybe a little bit of boost and gain because it's such a power hungry microphone so you can see it better. And then we'll go and compare the two waveforms, you know, the C70 and the MixPre, to see, you know, the noise floor and to see how good the audio looks from both of these. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So stand by and let's switch over. Thanks. All right, everybody. So here we are on iZotope RX8 Advanced. And here we have the C70 waveforms up top and the MixPre-3. Right now we're looking at the audio from the C70. And you can see from the median line here that the waveform is pretty much the same on top of the median waveform and on the bottom. Now we could of course run phase and make this more even, but if you look at the MixPre-3, it's actually even more out of phase here from the median. I thought that was kind of interesting. I would have thought it would have been the other way around. That tells you just how good the audio preamps in the C70 are. So you can see how much of the waveform is above the line here and how much is below. That's pretty crazy for the MixPre-3, and it's a great field recorder. If you go to the C70, you can see here the waveform is a little bit more even above and below the line. So I just thought that was pretty interesting. So let's go over here to the stats. And right now, if you notice up top, up here, I just highlighted the main part of the talking head part of the video. I did not include the clap in the beginning because that was just for me syncing in case something happened. So that's all that was. So if you notice the true peak and the LUFS and all that stuff, so the stats here look pretty dang good. And we're sitting over here at about minus 20, almost minus 26 LKFS or LUFS, however you want to say it. Loudness units full scale. And if we go over here to the MixPre, we're sitting at about 24.5, almost 24.5. So I recorded the MixPre just, you know, a decibel louder than the C70. So that's the difference. And here we see the stats for the MixPre. They're very similar. And if you look at the waveform itself, they're very similar with very little noise here. Matter of fact, if I highlight this in the middle, and we look over here to the loudness, you know, we're down in the minus 40s, 50s. So there's barely any noise there in the MixPre. So let's take a look at the C70 and we'll highlight that same area. Yeah, see, we're at the exact same spot. So we're in the minus 57s here for loudness if we're just doing like a quiet area. Now that doesn't count me bumping stuff when I was trying to be quiet. So forgive that part. But that tells you just how good these preamps are of the C70. So let's go ahead and take a look at the spectrum for each. So there's a spectrum for the C70. And this is the spectrum for the MixPre-3. In case you're interested, they're very similar. You can barely notice any difference. I mean, that's how good the C70 preamps are. I mean, I can't say enough about the C70. So let's go ahead and go back where we were. And we'll go ahead and loudless normalize both of these to the BS 1770 standard. And we're going to go to about minus 24 LUFS and minus 2 of a true peak on both. Now, I already ran through these, so we don't have to wait. So I'll just click on it. And this gives you the stats of the waveform after it's been rendered. So you see we're at minus 24 here for the LUFS. For the MixPre, and we'll go to the Canon, and we'll select the rendered waveform. And we're at minus 24 there too. So these were just been loudness normalized. Dang, can't talk tonight. And you can see the waveforms are very similar, besides part of the waveform being way too high over on the MixPre. I would definitely run the phase tool on this one. The C70 audio, I'd probably still run the phase tool, but it looks a lot better. So let's go ahead and take a listen to it. And I do not have any sort of amplifier or booster in the chain. This is just microphone to camera or microphone to... All right, that was the C70. Let's go over here to the MixPre. And I do not have any sort of amplifier or booster in the chain. This is just microphone to camera or microphone to recorder. And I can honestly say it is very hard for me to hear the difference. As a matter of fact, I have a little bit of a preference to the C70 audio over the MixPre, and I thought for sure I would never say that. I would have lost that bet. I would have definitely bet the C70 would have lost to the MixPre, and the MixPre would have sounded better. So definitely surprised by this, and I would have no problem using the C70 audio in a shoot of any sort. As a matter of fact, most of my recent YouTube videos have been using C70 audio. So just another fantastic showing for the C70, and what a great tool this actually is. So let me go ahead and get on out of this and get back to the normal shot. So stand by and we'll go ahead and move over. Thanks. All right, everybody. So hopefully you enjoyed this test on the audio preamps for the Canon C70 as compared against the Sound Devices MixPre-3 II. From what I can hear and from what I can see in the audio waveforms, the Canon C70 does a fantastic job with audio. I would have no qualms about plugging in a microphone and using that on a shoot. That's my personal opinion. Yours may differ, of course, especially if it can handle a microphone like the Shure SM7B, which is just power hungry beyond belief because it's a dynamic microphone. So hopefully this was entertaining, or at least you learned a little something about the Canon C70 and what a fantastic cinema camera this is. I can't say enough about it. I just love this camera. So I am a little biased, you know, I am a little bit of a Canon fanboy. So as you can tell from my previous videos where I shot on the EOS R or the EOS R5 and the C70, because it's real easy for me to match things in post. So that's why I kind of stuck with Canon. And all my accessories are Canon anyway, so it just makes it easier and cheaper to stay in the Canon ecosystem. So I just want to say thank you, everybody, for watching and for listening. I greatly appreciate it. Have a great day or night, everybody. Happy shooting. Thank you. Bye.